3 million Americans find themselves always dizzy with feelings that they may faint or pass out. But most people would never link anxiety and dizziness together. In the beginning of my anxiety disorder, I had many dizzy and lightheaded spells, but these spells quickly turned into a constant feeling of unsteadiness, and focusing on an object altogether became very difficult. When I would tell friends and family members about this feeling I experienced daily that felt like a constant drunken or hungover feeling, they would joke about how funny it was, but the severity of it can completely control your life. When I tried to show people how I felt, I told them to shake their heads back and forth 20 times, and when they stopped, that was in fact the feeling I had all the time. That exercise caught their attention very quickly, and they soon tried to understand a little more about the connection to dizziness and vertigo, so that they could become more knowledgeable and help me out. When people who suffer from dizziness related to panic and anxiety enter an environment that is filled with visual stimuli, such as going grocery shopping in a store filled with people, the dizziness gets much worse, and too much sensation is coming into the brain. Also, performing precise visual tasks like reading a book or getting work done on a computer can also cause the dizziness to get worse. Dizziness from anxiety is triggered by the rapid breathing that anxiety causes. But why doesn't rapid breathing from exercise cause the same kind of dizziness that anxiety does? When people exercise, they require more oxygen and start to breathe rapidly, but they also need to breathe out any excess carbon dioxide that can be produced during vigorous exercise. So increasing the breathing is actually a result of our bodies functioning appropriately in response to an exercise. But when someone is going through panic and anxiety, the rapid breathing brings in more oxygen than what the body actually needs. This in turn releases too much carbon dioxide, which causes the pH of the blood to rise, which causes a constriction of our blood vessels in our brains, which leads to a dizzy and unsteady sensation. If you feel dizzy, there is no cause for alarm, and such actions as standing too quickly after being seated for a long period, a new medication, not eating anything all day, and the flu can all explain why you feel a sudden dizziness. Can the experiences of anxiety and worry be the result of prolonged hyperventilating? Could you be hyperventilating when you don't even realize it? The answer is yes. When we take shallow breaths from the top of our chest and constantly breathe from our mouths at a rate of 12 to 17 breaths a minute, a form of chronic hyperventilation can take place. If this happens, we can find ourselves feeling more anxious, irritable, apprehensive, and fearful. When our rate of breathing is too high, and when we breathe too fast, the carbon dioxide is reduced in our blood to below its optimum levels. Carbon dioxide is a vital gas that is produced by the body's energy source, which is metabolism. The ability of your body to properly maintain a normal pH level depends on the maintenance of an adequate supply of carbon dioxide. Poor breathing makes it difficult for our red blood cells to release oxygen to cells that are in our brain and body, also causing the arteries to constrict, which reduces blood flow throughout the whole body. I hope I got your attention on how important proper breathing is. Shallow breathing switches on our fight or flight reflex known as our sympathetic nervous system. This has a great effect on being able to think clearly and what obsessive thoughts we may have. We are also learning the connection between chronic hyperventilation and many problems and diseases that people see doctors for, such as high blood pressure, heart disease, irritable bowel syndrome, heartburn, asthma, and arthritis, just to name a few. For many months, I bought multiple breathing CDs trying to rebuild proper breathing habits, but little did I know I was following the proper techniques to fix my shallow breathing, but doing it wrong at the same time. I was doing these exercises by breathing out with my chest rather than my stomach, which is completely wrong. The best way to recognize if your breathing is correct or not is to place one hand on your chest and one hand on your stomach and see which one is rising. It should be your stomach during the 4 seconds in and 4 seconds out routine that should be practiced when feelings of panic and anxiety are not present. This will in time become your regular breathing rhythm, not only during relaxed times, but during stress-filled moments as well. There are many different time allotments that people are told they should breathe in and out for, but in my experience, these numbers have worked the best. Most important is the way you learn to breathe again, and that is in and out through your nose and expanding your stomach. It's absolutely crucial that you be reminded of proper breathing throughout the day, because anyone can easily get totally caught up in an activity and revert back to bad breathing habits. Any kind of reminder will do. For me, it was writing the letter B on the front of my hand, which was especially needed when I was caught up in a tennis match I was coaching and the match would get intense, and many times with it, so did my breathing. Another great reminder is to wear an elastic band, which in fact helped tremendously well as a reminder to have good posture also. Poor posture results in very restricted and shallow breathing that will greatly affect your energy levels. Have you ever felt how much more difficult it is to breathe properly when you're hunched over in your chair, for example? These days, so much of our time is spent crouched over a computer, which is in fact completely opposite of what our bodies were designed for. Good posture is as important as eating right, exercising, and getting a great night's sleep. I bet that was something you've never heard before. Did you know that just 15 minutes of typing or reading while using the wrong posture can exhaust the muscles in your neck, shoulders, and upper back? Good posture means that the bones in your body are properly aligned as well as your muscles, joints, and ligaments, and can work as nature intended. It means your vital organs are in the proper position and can function at peak efficiency. Good posture is also a contributor to the normal functioning of the nervous system. As mentioned, it is impossible to breathe effectively in a bad posture, so they pretty much go hand in hand. Good posture doesn't only facilitate good breathing, it helps to avoid health complications such as backaches, chest pressure, and poor blood circulation. It improves your image, confidence, and makes you look more attractive. Now, who doesn't want that? Good posture does not mean keeping your spine completely straight and upright as most people think, which is tiring. Good posture means having a proper poised stance when sitting or standing. When most people think of good posture, they put far too much tension on the lower back, which also shortens the spine. What you want to do is pretend there is a string attached to the top of your head and it's pulling you upwards in a straight and not curved line. The weight of your head should be pushed directly down your spine, which requires little muscle activity to maintain your balance. When standing, the weight of your body should be evenly distributed across the balls of your feet. Whatever your posture is during any moment in your day, you can be assured that it is greatly influencing your breathing as well as your overall attitude. When I look at someone who's dealing with depression, I can easily see the difference in their body language and posture compared to someone who is confident and with a positive outlook. In a study done recently in The Economist in 2011, posture was in fact directly connected to self-respect. When I heard about this study, I was excited because at the time my self-respect was at an all-time low. I was an overly anxious person with no belief in myself whatsoever. But with the knowledge that I gained about posture, body language, and breathing, I had total control over regaining the belief in myself and getting my health back again.